Greetings, you're watching Northern Soul channel. This is a video that's going to be demonstrating how to use kinesiology tape in various colors to do lateral epicondylitis, aka tennis elbow, or tennis elbow for those of you that speak normal. So I'm going to show you, demonstrate two different types of taping. The two different types of taping kind of focus on different aspects of kinesiology, like how it works. So one's going to be focusing on offloading the muscle primarily, although there are multiple factors that it helps out in anyway. And the other taping will be focusing on circulation increase, which will help the healing response as well. Both will help the healing response. But there's two different focuses. Try both. Whichever works best, stick with it. I think that should be pretty obvious, but I feel like I should just finish that sentence out, that thought out with words in English, the only language I really know. Okay, we're going to be using two different color schemes here. In this case, Team Hot is going to be representing one, and then we've got Team Be Cool is going to be demonstrating the second one. These ones can go away. I'm not interested. And you go, oh, garbage. Okay. So let's get started. So let's talk a little bit about outside of, because you're here because you want the healing response, not just taping, right? Those of you that need a quick something because you need to tape somebody right now, tell them this stuff as well. It'll make you seem smarter, maybe. But for those of you that are casual, doing this at home, and you're getting into this sort of thing, it's also important to understand the aspects of what's happening with the tennis elbow, and also how to maybe find it if it's actually tennis elbow that you're suffering. So one of the things to understand is to test for tennis elbow, you can try this sort of method to see. And that'll be pain associated into the external extensors of the forearm and the fingers. So we're gonna, such extensor associated is what's hooked up to the middle finger here. So what you can do is push down on the middle finger and then try to extend the middle finger up. So I'm gonna push up on it, and if it hurts anywhere through there, then that is a pretty good indicator. It's not 100%, but it's a pretty good indicator that you have exactly lateral epicondylitis tennis elbow. The other thing that could be referring pain down into the area is a problem with the C6, C7 vertebral, oh my god, I cannot speak today. C6, C7 vertebrae issue, whether it's some sort of impingement or root, facet nerve root irritation radiating down the nerve and causing a pain similar to the symptoms of lateral epicondylitis. So you might wish to go check out a healthcare professional that can diagnose that properly. But like I said, if you use that, raise the middle finger up, resist, and then if the pain's there, that's probably a good indicator that that's a problem. Doesn't mean that you don't have other problems though. So just keep that in mind. Also be careful where you're doing the middle finger testing. Because if you're in certain areas, somebody might take offense to that, and you might end up wearing a chair on your head. In which case, I'm not really familiar with the taping on your head for chair smashing. Anyways, let's go move on to the actual taping aspect of it. You could use also as well. Rest is ideal, so stop doing that thing that you're doing that's bothering. But if it's been established for a long time, there's also massage you can do. But ice on the area, if it's right after an activity, you're like, ow, that hurts, ice for 5 to 10 minutes. Also heat on the actual musculature of the forearm can help soothe and help with the getting the muscles to go back into normal range, increase circulation. You can also use ice and heat with the taping. Sorry for taking up 80 minutes of your time talking about things, but this is all about healing. So yeah, it's taping, but let's talk about all aspects so you have a complete idea of how to help yourself beyond just somebody talking very dry and robotic like about taping, like every other video. This is Northern Soul. We do things a bit differently. Woo! Okay, let's get started. We're gonna use orange because it was in front of me for the first one. And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this stretching of the muscle itself, the attachment point. So we're gonna take one of the tapes. Actually, it's only one tape anyway. Oh no, two tapes, sorry. Oh, I'm screwing myself up. We're gonna measure, first thing. First one is an eye tape, which will have a unique cutout in the end. You're gonna see it, you're gonna love it. Maybe. I'm gonna do a really quick one. Stop it, stop it. Doing it by yourself's amazing. Okay. Here we go. Probably. Five. Okay, so I cut a new piece out because I made the other one too short. Better to go too long than too short, and I didn't follow my own principles. So you think I'm new at this, I'm not, but you would think I was because my mistake there. Alright, I'm going to round out the ends. Also watch out for tapes that come in pre-cut strips. It will not work here, so you want tapes that don't come in pre-cut strips. They come in rolls. So let's try this again, since I totally shit the bed on the last one. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to do the extension, or sorry, flexion. Like that, like so. Find the attachment point. Like that. Come across, I don't want stretch, so I'm just kind of pulling off the backing and heading towards me fingers. Now this one's the trickier out of the two, because if you don't cut it right, you're gonna have a really weird extension. So now I'm down at the finger part right here. I'm gonna place right in the middle here. Hang on, there we go. Get my fingers in there. Oh God, here we go. Stretch, fingers in. Do you, Northern Soul, take this tape in holy matrimony and in increasing circulation? Yes, I do. Okay. Then pull through fingers. There we go. So there's my stretch. Continue. That was kind of crap there. That was a bit of a fail. And on the inside like this, and then you're just going to park that on the inside of the palm. This is like one of the trickier tapes. Looks kind of cool if you can pull it off, but if you can't pull it off, then not so fun. And right now it's turning into a not so fun. Okay, so there it is. I kind of fluffed it with this sort of stupid thing there. Still acceptable. I'm gonna fix this. So tricky, yeah. Tricky factor, probably 9 out of 10. There's that. So that's set up like that. And now, man, I wish that looked a bit prettier. I'm not gonna do it again. Usually, if I was going out on a date, sports date or activity, I would probably redo that. But for the purpose of not spending any more money on tape, I'm not going to. Let's go on to the other bit, which is going to be across the waist. So we're going to try to offload, not just offload, but increase circulation specifically on the area that's painful. So Team Hot, it's got red. Mr. Red comes out. It's going to go across like that, and this is going to be substantial stretch, and it's going to stop at the flexor side of things. Because there's going to be substantial stretch, you can shorten this a little bit, but because I don't care about overrun, I'm going to not shorten it because I'm angry about not having this too short last time. So, round off ends. Get rid of that. And this is going to be a Y tape, so I'm going to cut this lengthwise a little bit, kind of like that. Round off ends. Oh, it's so relaxing. It's like knitting or something. I don't know, I don't knit, but if you did knit and you found that relaxing, then rounding off ends off tape is very relaxing. You know, some of you are like, what are you talking about? Nothing! Okay, So we're going to start over here, anchor. So you're going to want to make sure that this fat part here is, you put that across the part that's the most painful for you at the time. So since I'm by myself, I'm just going to crimp that back there like that. Don't want to touch the adhesive ever. So right about, let's say there, and then this part is going to be the painful part. I'm pretending because I'm not actually hurt. You're actually hurt, so you're going to just follow my instructions to the letter. Oh god, I need to rip that. Hey scissors, what's up? Oh, not much. Okay, I'm going to just use that then. There we go. Smoke them if you got them, right? Okay, so now we're going to have substantial stretch. I'm going to stretch the fingers out individually. And I'm going to give that a good tug. So we're talking like 75%. And then you're going to go tug, 75%. And then you're going to stop on the side of the flexors, which is this side. And then once again across, full stretch. 75% across. Like that. And there you go. And just kind of remember to keep your wrist and stuff in a flexed position. So I can really feel the tug on that area. That'll open up that area for circulation increase, and this will offload muscle associated with that. If you have that sort of issue with that the length of the whole muscle, the forearm muscle, where it attaches here, ends, and then attaches into the finger area. Okay, so that feels really good on me. I almost feel like I'm a like I could punch somebody really hard with it or something like that. It's like a superhero. Careful on your coloring, because you might wish to look even more sporty with these sort of race stripe sort of effect. Whoa, comes off pretty easy because I didn't wait 10 to 15 minutes, where the adhesion would then be almost at maximum overdrive. Stephen King film, kind of bad to watch now. Anyways, let's move on. Here's the second one that is much easier to do, however, or less tricky, shall we say, but it's doing a kind of a different thing. May work better for you, may not. Try both, like I said. Here we go. Team Be Cool is going to be demonstrating this aspect of it. So we're going to be measuring same thing, but in this case, we're going to do a substantial stretch all the way across. So we're going to put our hand in a neutral position. So you may wish to put it on a table or something like that. So it'll be like that, and you're going to have cut across. So it's still, the attachment point hasn't changed. It's still there. Back of the elbow right there, heading towards fingers, index finger and middle finger, like that. So I'm just going to cut short because I'm going to stretch it and it's going to be stupid. So I'm just going to cut like to the knuckles, and then there's going to be so much stretch. So I'm going to shorten it by a little bit, because every time I don't shorten this enough, it goes way past the fingers. This is a Y tape, so I'm going to split it down lengthwise, a couple inches, probably about, we're talking about 6 inches or so. You're not going to go too long on the cut, really. Round the ends off, like that. Round that end off. There we go. End off, send off. There we go. So it looks like this. There's a Y tape with the rounded ends. Break off the end. I'm just going to peel that back so I'm not touching the adhesive. I'm going to use gravity to help me apply. So 90-degree angle on the elbow, and then neutral position on the wrist. Just behind the area that's painful and the attachment point. From here, I'm going to add the additional stretch. So we're talking about 75%. We're going to stop at the wrist joint, aiming towards the index finger and middle finger. Okay, there's a 75% stretch. I'm going to rub that in like that, and then hopefully, if I cut this right, let me just get my scissors here and cut these ends off, because I only want the fingers to. Oh, that looks dangerous, doesn't it? It's probably not the smartest way to do it, but I'm going to go the other way. You want to be cutting away from you, not towards you. Generally speaking, I think that's a safe thing to say. Okay, no stretch towards this will be the index finger, or sorry, the middle finger. No stretch, there we go. And it stops short of the nail bed, so that is excellent. This one will head towards index finger, or pointer finger, whatever you want to do it. There you go, no stretch. And that stops short of the nail bed, excellent. That's exactly what we want. That wrinkle's not what I want, but anyways, rub that in. Pretend you're making a wish on the genie thing. rub all that in to help adhere. It will take 10 to 15 minutes for that to adhere properly. I cannot feel my legs. It's probably not a spinal issue, it's probably just because I've been sitting on my legs for too long. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do a little, I'm going to grab my little friends here that I have extra from other taping. And I'm going to lock the ends down so that it doesn't end up bumping into things and then start to to peel away. Once that tape kind of lets go, it doesn't want to stick again. So you want to create two little strips like that, just on the end, not on the nail bed, and it's going to wrap onto itself. So typically you want no stretch, but these ones are kind of short. I'm going to add a little stretch so that I make it to the tape on the other side. So tape onto itself, just like that. Just like, there we go. And that's what that looks like. So there we go. Now I can feel the pull all the way through here, and that'll help with the increase in the circulation in that whole area. Optionally, you could put another tape across here. So I'll show you the optional tapes. Say it's been bothering you for a very long time, it's very established. Let's take Mr. Dark Blue because we're still doing Team Be Cool. And you could do another Y tape. I think that's a good idea. Almost mimicking the tape before. So this is optional, but honestly, you might as well go ahead and add this. Plus, if you're doing a sporting event, such as tennis, you can actually like color code this so that you're like color coordinated. So this will be with stretch, substantial stretch again. And we're gonna do the base area, and then this middle part will go into where the most painful area is. So I'm gonna remove the end part here and use gravity as my friend again. And so once again, a Y tape. So I'm gonna go back here. So say the painful area is right about, it would be probably about there. So I'm just gonna aim it towards, like that. Whoops, park that. Do the 75% stretch. Now what I want to do is have these separate, the Y tapes. So I need to rip them into separate little fingers. So 75% except on the end, like that, across, and you're gonna want to stop on the flexor side. So it's the bottom part facing you. Now I've got another finger over here, in which case, same thing. Stretch, across, no stretch on the ends, park. That feels really good. So I would recommend that. This is the tape that I would probably, unless you're like working with your fingers and stuff. So say you're like working with stuff like you're mixing food or whatever, and you can't have tape over here. The other tape might be better, but it's trickier to do. The other thing is, if you had to, you can just shorten this at the wrist and then maybe put like a wrist tape right here.